Hello guys and welcome to another video of programming with a beginner. So last videos we tried to solve the first problem, the two-sum problem in Leetcode, and I think that we did pretty good. But now we are going to try to see in the solution the best solution that is voted here. Remember that you can go to solutions and you can try to click which one has the most voted solution. So here we have this one, and okay, and we can try to see that they are using Python 3, and let's see also let's see what they write, that what they wrote here. So the approach is, the first one is the one brute force approach, is to consider every pair of elements and check if their sums equals the target. And this can be done using nested loops. That was the first solution that we did, where the outer loop iterates from the first element to the second to the last element, and the inner loop iterates from the next element to the last element. However, this approach has a time complexity of that, because I think that it enters in two loops, so it's a no-no. So a more efficient approach is to use a hash table, an unordered map. We can iterate through the array once, and for each element, check if the target minus the current element exists in the hash table, and if it does, we have found a valid pair of numbers. If not, we add the current element to the hash table. So for that, we need to create an empty hash table to store the elements and their indices. And then we need to iterate through the array from left to right. And for each element, nums I, calculate the complement. Okay, I'm not going to read everything because you can read it. So for this video, we are just going to go to the solution. This is Python 3. And if we cheat a little, we can see that if we can just copy all of this solution, copy here and submit it, and voila, we are just a cheater. So we can confirm that this solution is going to give us a runtime of about 54 milliseconds. And of course, if you do this, if you are only here to copy and paste the solutions, you're not learning anything. So let's be like me and let's try to see what we are doing here. So the first thing is that they are using a non-map. So I'm just going to copy everything. We are going to go to the PyCharm and let's create a new Python file, one to some solution. And let's just copy all of these. Let's come to this one, copy some examples here. Just let's copy this here. And I also like to have these other things. Okay, sorry, and go to the solution. And just at the end, I like to have this so we can test it. If we click run, of course, they didn't change this list to under cases. So that's the solution that we wanted, 0 and 1. Let's just change this for a 26. And we will see that the solution is 2 and 3. So this code is working. So now let's try to comprehend this code. Okay. So the first thing is that they are creating a dictionary. There are different ways to create lists in Python. So you can create something like this, and it's going to give you a set. I think it's called a set. You can create another like this, and this is going to be a normal index list. And also you can create dictionaries that are using this expression, these scores. So there are some properties, you can look them up, but this one is going to have like when you're using dictionaries, you have like a key and a value. So you can have something like the key value number 1 is going to hold, I don't know, the values 10, and the key 2 is going to hold the value 20. and the key, I don't know, the key 5 is going to hold a value of 50, something like that. So the dictionary comes in pairs. That's something that I know. All of the lists and the sets are not coming in pairs. And in the dictionary, it doesn't matter the position. I think that it's unordered. So it doesn't matter where it is. You can search in the dictionary for the key and the value. But for example, there are some sets and lists that you can have many different numbers, but in the sets you cannot repeat numbers. So if you have in the set like a 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3, and if we print A, we can see that, okay, maybe I need to just tell that it's going to be a set of these numbers. Yes, if we create a set, it's not going to have repeated numbers. But yeah, let's continue, because that's something that you need to learn by yourself. I'm just trying to tell you that if they are using these symbols, it's because they are using a dictionary. So we don't really need this anymore, and we can continue. So they are creating an empty dictionary. Non-map is empty. Here, if we print what's in non-map and we just run it, we are going to see that it's completely empty. Okay? But of course, we are going to be at the end having values in non-map. So we are going to remove this. But I think that this is a very cool way to, debug the code. You can just print something, print the value, the variable, and you will see what's the value right now. And okay, let's see that first they are creating an empty dictionary. Then they are just having the length of nums 1, 2, 3, 4. So this n is going to be equal to 4. So they have here n equals to 4. This is a variable. This could be called any other number, letter. For example, this could be O, and I can change here to O, and this probably is going to work. Yes. So they just wanted to use a very easy letter to remember. So we have n is going to be equal to the length of the array, and we are going to start with a for I in range of n. Remember that here we have a range of the length of nums, the range of nums. This is exactly the same, but they are just removing this part. So this variable is only going to be here, so it's easier to see, to comprehend. For I in range of n, that is nums, we will try, this is a new variable, so complement that we called solution in the other video. So the complement is going to be the target minus nums I. Remember that if we are starting with a 0, because the first number that I is going to have is a 0, then the nums in I position is going to be a 2. So the complement right now is going to be the target 26 minus 2. We can just print here complement. So we are going to be seeing what's the value of complement in each iteration. So the first iteration in the for, the complement is going to have a value of 24. Why? Because the target minus 2 is 24. Then, because it didn't return anything, it's going to come again, and it's going to change the I to the next index, that is going to be a 7. So now the complement is going to be the target minus 7. So we can see here that is 19. And after that, because it didn't complete it, all the other information that we needed, then the next one is going to be the 11. The 11 is going to be the complement target minus 11, and it's going to be 15. 15 is the answer that we are looking for. So if there is a complement in non-map, we are going to return the value that we want. So let's continue. I will remove this print, and let's see. Okay, so that's the complement is going to be changing every time the I is going to be changing. So the next is a comparison of if complement in non-map. Remember that non-map is empty. So if there is a complement in non-map, we are going to return the non-map on complement and the I that is going to be the position of the number of the complement. Okay, if this is confused or not, we can just print here. Well, no, I will print the non-map every time that is changed. So, well, yeah, here. I will print the non-map, and also we are going to print right here the non-map. So you can see how it's changing. At the very first, it's going to enter here for I in range, and complement is going to have a value of 24. So it's not going to be in non-map. Actually, non-complement is going to be non-map the first time because it's empty. So the next part is non-map. We are going to add in this index that this index specifically, no, sorry, this is the number, the first part of the dictionary. So nums I is this number, is the 2, is the 7, is the 11. So non-map, we are going to have this key that is going to be the number 2, and is going to be equal to the position of the number 2, that is 0. Okay, we are just printing that. So it's going to enter again to this OR. Now the complement is going to be 26 minus 7, that is going to be 19. So it's going to try to find 19 in the non-map. Right now, non-map only has a value of 2. So we are not going to find the 19, okay? And if we don't find the 19, we are going to go to non-map again, and we are going to add this new key, that is the number 7, and the position here, I, that is the position of the number 7. So now we have a dictionary with the number 2 that has a value of 0, this is the key, with a key number 2 with a value 0, is the position, and the number 7 with the position number 1, okay? So we are going to go again and enter to the for one more time, and now we have the number 11. With the 11, we have the target 15, but remember, we are not searching in this list. We are not trying to search in nums. What we are going to be doing here is searching in non-map, and we still don't have the number 15. So we are going to add once again another key to the dictionary. So the new key, the new nums I, is the number 11. And which position is the number 11? Is the number 2. So now we have this dictionary that we have been creating here with these keys in this position, with these values. And now, after this, and now, we are going to enter again with the number 15, and the target is going to be 26 minus 15. The answer is 11. And now we are going to see if 11 is in non-map. And as you can see, yes, we have an 11 in non-map. Okay. So now we are going to enter in this if statement, in the true part of this if statement. We don't need this print anymore. So if we enter here, is because we actually found the complement in non-map in the dictionary, and we are going to return the two values, the two indexes where we found the solution. So if we are right now here, we can see that the non-map complement, the complement is the number 11, right? So we are going to try to search for which position is number 11. The position is number 2. So in the return, we are going to return the position, not the key, because here I know that maybe this part is the most confused part, the confusing part, because you are trying to see here, you are going to give the value of the null map of the complement of the 11. So we are going to go to the dictionary here, We are going to go to the dictionary and we are going to return the value of that key. That's in this case the number 11. Okay, so we are going to return the number 2, and the other number that we want is the index of the last number, that is I. So we are going to just return I. Okay, so if I remove this print and we just click play or run, you will see that the answer is going to be 2 because it's the return value of the dictionary, and I, that is because we enter to this for loop until the I value is 3. Okay, so that's it. And if this for is completed and you cannot find any solution, you don't need to return anything. So for example, if I have a 27 and I press run, we will see that we need to return something, because if we don't have this return, I think that is going to give you an error. Let's see. Well, it's going to return none. So it's not specifically necessary, but because we are returning a list, we are expecting to return a list. So even if it's an empty list, that's the best case that we need to have. So if none of these have an answer, then we can return nothing, an empty list. Okay. So I think that's it. That's the solution. That's the breakthrough of the solution. You can thank this guy, Raul Barma 5297. You can thank him for giving us this answer, and that we learn a lot with this solution, with this very compacted, very efficient solution that is giving us 54 milliseconds time of runtime. So this is the third video and it's the same problem. My intention is to have many different videos like this one, solving all the easiest problems in Leetcode. Please let me know in the comments if you like this series. If you don't like this series, it's okay. Maybe I'm just going to stop doing the videos. I do these videos because I think that the best way to learn is to teach. And I have been a very good teacher in my old days. I have a lot of different Udemy courses, so I know that I can teach well, but maybe programming is another field that maybe is not my best field. So if you like this series, please give a like and subscribe. If not, please let me know what I can do better. But that's it for today. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.